My definition of marriage is probably two people who love each other and are going to stay committed to one another for their entire life. And yeah. Some good qualities for a husband and a wife are definitely honesty, compassion, caring for one another, especially um, understanding, and also just to be comfortable with one another, be able to have fun with each other, and I think children in marriage is really important. I think God calls us to um, raise a family and develop them as children of God, and to like instill faith in them and values that they can carry on to their own children as well. So, I think God's role in marriage is just a constant reminder of our faith and our commitment not only to Him but to our family and our loved ones, and just also a reminder to be faithful and loving and avoid being abusive or cheating or anything like that.
Definition of marriage.
What is my definition of marriage? Marriage is a covenant between a man and a woman for life. I suppose that would be really the definition of a marriage, that a man gives himself totally to the woman and the woman totally to the man, and they possess each other, and they are the building blocks with each other upon a life which results in dividends of their love for each other, which we call children. Okay.
What are some good qualities that a husband and a wife should have?
Oh, there are many. I would certainly think trust, honesty, openness, transparency, forgiveness, tolerance, humility with each other, compassion towards each other, delight in each other. There are so many, it's almost innumerable. Selflessness, that you live for the other. You live for me and I live for you. And that there's no such thing as 50-50 partnership in marriage. It's 100-100 with the, and if one slips a little bit, well, you still got 100, and you make that up. But yeah, those would be I think the main qualities, and of course, a deep, rich, genuine article love for each other, which is really caring about each other totally.
In your opinion, should children be part of marriage?
Well, yes, but there are people, I celebrated a marriage about 5 years ago here at St. Emily's between two people who were old enough to be my grandma and grandpa. So children are not a part of that, of course. But the whole reason that there is a physiological as well as psychological difference between the male and female is for the procreation of children. I saw a bumper sticker one time that said, "A baby is God's way of showing us He wants the world to go on." Well, babies come from marriage, when parents are able to raise, nurture, and influence, and wind them up and send them on their own eventually. But yeah, I think if you want to get married and children are not a part of your plan, I don't know what you would call it. I don't think you could call that a marriage. A permanent exclusion of children, deliberate on my part or her part, that permanent, intentional, deliberate exclusion of children would I think, prohibit that from being called a real marriage. The husband and wife who become a father and mother when a child is involved, the dad and mom procreate with the Lord God. God is a very essential part of that. I don't care what a man and woman do, they cannot bring about a conception if God is not a part of that. How many people there are who want to have a baby and they just don't seem to be able to do that. But not that every couple can have, we find sometimes. That doesn't, then out of great generosity, they will often adopt and raise a child that could not have been raised by her own or his own parents. God's an essential part of marriage, so much so that it we were created after God's image and likeness, and God's image and likeness is continued through the generous and thoughtful and loving work of mother and dad.
Just giving your life to another person for the rest of your life, in good times, bad times, and
Just of health and
yeah, spending the rest of your life with one person.
What do you think are some good qualities for a husband and wife?
I think it's understanding and patience and
compatibility.
yeah, willingness to cooperate with each other.
And compromise.
Yeah, compromise. And love. You have to love each other.
In your opinion, should children be present in marriage?
I think so.
Yeah.
If you can have children, I think that's a part of marriage. I think it adds to your marriage, and that's what marriage is about, marriage and family.
What do you think God's role in marriage is?
Well, he's our guiding source, and kind of keeps us on the right track, and he should be part of us. He should be a part, like number three with us, 1 and 2, and God is with us for number 3.
My definition of marriage is two people that make a commitment to each other based on love and trust and respect, and together they have a mission to share that love and serve their community. Some good qualities for a husband and a wife would be love, forgiveness, trust, respect, honesty. Yes, I think children certainly make marriage more pleasurable in terms of sharing a commitment in raising them and enjoying watching them grow up and be productive members of their community. Is it necessary? No, but I think building a family together is an excellent opportunity. God's role in marriage, first and foremost, that he blesses the marriage, that the two people are not only committed to each other, but committed to living out the mission of the church together. And I think God's modeling of love and sacrifice and forgiveness are certainly qualities that would help make a fantastic marriage.
It's a sacrament of the church, one of the sacraments of the church. It's a sacrament of vocation between a husband and wife. The love between a man and a woman, sharing in that sacrament which God gives us, and bringing children into the world through the love of man and a woman and through the graces that are bestowed upon us by Christ. I believe a good quality for a husband and wife is, number one, is to respect each other for the differences that they have. understanding each other, complimenting each other. And I guess the biggest key that I believe in is communication between a husband and wife, to be able to communicate openly and lovingly, not only the good but the differences in a marriage, to be able to strengthen that marriage and make it a commitment to one another. Absolutely. If God can will that and they're able to have children, by all means, we love them. The gift of having children, and children are an important part of a family, to raise them and to love them and to be a part of God's community. God's role is to keep the marriage sacred, to keep the marriage in prayer, to pray for one another, to pray for God's guidance, forgiveness, and love throughout a marriage, even in the good times and the bad times, strengthening that marriage.
My definition of marriage would be a lifelong relationship between a husband and a wife who both love each other and come together to start a family under God. Some good qualities for a husband and wife would be trust, compassion, forgiveness, and obviously love. I think if it's possible, children should be a part of a marriage. I think God blesses a marriage and guides a couple in the right direction and also helps them with important decision making. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed all my interviews.